Okay, now we'll take a look at using the min and max functions. And again, we'll see some basic implementations first, and then a little more of an advanced implementation. But to begin, we just want to find our minimum payment and maximum payment for all of the customers in the payment table. So we're selecting out the customer ID, then the function min against the amount column. And again, the column is always in parentheses when you use these functions. This is simply an alias, and I'm calling it lowest payment from the payment table. But then I don't want to see individual records. I want to see a collection. So we group by the customer ID. So I'll see the lowest payment for each customer, but the aggregated total of all payments, then simply extracting whatever the lowest value is. So let's execute this one. And there we see again just single records for each customer. So of all payments, 99 cents is the lowest payment. Okay? Max is obviously the exact opposite. This is the highest payment. Otherwise, the syntax is identical. I've just swapped out max for min. So let's re-execute. And now we see the highest payment. Again, just per customer. So I don't see repetitive values for the customer ID, just a single instance of the customer. This is the highest payment that customer has ever made. So in the final example, we can use that as criteria, essentially, as a filter. So that's what we're doing here, using the function results as a filter, using the having clause. Now, we have seen this earlier, but again, while a where clause works on the non-aggregated column, the having clause always operates on the aggregate, the function itself, if you will. So I'm still selecting the customer ID, the maximum amount as highest payment, nothing different there from the payment table, still grouping by the customer ID. So up to that point, this statement is identical to the one we just saw. But here you can see the having clause references the aggregate function, the maximum amount. So in this case, I'm saying filter out the results that are greater than or equal to $8.99. So if we go through the results here, we can see there is a $7.99 for customer 6. This should filter this out. So let's go ahead and execute. And let's note the total number of records here. For starters, 599 in the last statement. Let's execute. And now only 459. And customer 6 has been filtered out. So again, we're only seeing the maximum payments that are greater than or equal to that value. So you can use the function as a filter. So typically, these are fairly simple to implement. You're just usually looking for a high or a low numeric value. Although I should say you can actually use these against text-based columns. It just works alphabetically so that anything that starts with A, for example, is considered to be lower than something that starts with Z. But clearly, in most cases, these are used against numeric columns. But when you do need to know those minimum and maximum values, and perhaps you need to use them as a filter, then they are certainly good for determining those previously unknown values.